What's up? It's your Yahweh Israel. All praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh only, and besides Him there is no other God, neither shall there be after Him. Title of this video is going to be The Curses of Deuteronomy. That's right. Finally making a video about these curses. Finally, I'm going to show how these curses that Yahweh put on His chosen people for not listening to His voice when He warned them to follow His law, statutes, and commandments. It's finally getting shown in this video. But before I continue, I just want to give a big shout out to y'all remnant, as well as all the newcomers that joined the channel. I want to thank y'all for the production that we did on my latest video, The Begotten Son is a Lie. I want to thank everyone who liked the video, shared the video, as well as all the comments. I will be responding back to all comments as soon as possible today. And yeah, once again, if you're new, welcome. Whether you're Israelite and you know that you're Yah's chosen one, or you are a Gentile from another nation and you want to join the remnant, the house of Israel, welcome. Welcome. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, atheist, and you go and you see that Yahweh's book is the truth, and you see that the New Testament is a lie. But yeah, here we go, man. Because I've been talking about this for quite some time, and I'm sure y'all remnant know just as much as me that these curses of Deuteronomy, they affect black people. Not anyone else, but you can tell that these curses that Yah put on his people, well, the same curses got passed down onto Yah's chosen people's sons and daughters into the next generations. You could tell that these are the biblical Israelites that these curses were put upon, because you won't see any other group of people persecuted as much as these so-called black people. There's no other group of people who these curses align more than these black people / African American, as we know today. No other. From the bywords that continues to be used to this day, KKK, white supremacist groups of all different sectors, they love using this word, and people look at it as a derogatory term for black people. But as I've said in previous videos, it's not just a derogatory term in order to make black people feel like they are the bottom of the earth, ironically being the tail. But this is a perpetual statute, a foreverlasting testament that Yah's book is real. Ain't no hidden message. It's plain sight. We're going to get into these scriptures, and I'll narrate from there. Here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 28, starting at verse 1, where it says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." And before I get into verse 2, you could tell that Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 is not speaking about these Jews, because how can these Jews be Yah's chosen people when they're currently sharing the same land with not just one uh, group of religious people, but multiple religious people. These Jews, who the world thinks they've been brought back to the land because they think they're the biblical Israelites, but they're Israelis. They're a lie. They're not elite. They're a lie. Not only that, but they share this artificial Israel that was made in 1948 with Muslims, Christians, as well as other religious groups. But those groups I just mentioned being the most popular ones. So why would Yah put his own people in a land that is shared by other religions that don't praise Yah? He said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." Yet people believe that these Jews are Yah's people and they've been brought back into the land, but they're sharing it with other religions. Idolatry. Now, why would Yah, every time he saw idolaters around his people, he commanded that they destroy these idolaters? Yet he's not doing the same today. Christians will tell you it's because JC came and died for everybody's sin in the world. There's just one problem with that. People are still in these sins today. And not only that, but why are people still teaching about a man dying for sins when Jeremiah chapter 31 says that nobody will be teaching anymore? Every man is brother and every man his neighbor, saying, "Know Yah, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them. For I will forgive their iniquity and remember their sin no more." Yet people are still teaching about the man that died for everyone's sins. Let's keep going. Verse 2 of Deuteronomy chapter 28. "And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim." Not hearken unto the voice of this Hashem, who these Jews, it's so crazy. They blaspheme Yah's name by not mentioning it, believe it or not. And I'm going to tell you why. This was a way, because again, they're part of the New World Order as well, where they remove Yah's name, add their own book, because these are supposed to be Yah's chosen people, yet they go by a Babylonian Talmud. Ironic, it's Babylonian. They go by a Talmud and not the Tanakh, not the Torah. They go by a book of lies. And it's so evil. If you ever read even just a little bit of what the Babylonian Talmud speaks about, it's the seed of Cain. I'm telling you, it's the seed of Cain. Some devils, disgusting. What they do to these innocent young boys after the circumcision, what these rabbis do to these young boys, disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, for YouTube community guidelines sakes, I'm not gonna go all the way into it, but all I can say is do your own research. You will see what these rabbis do to these poor little boys after they circumcise them. But I'm sure in the future, as we continue to grow as a community, Yah's holy name, bless him forever. I'll set up some platform where I'll really get to talk about this. Because I already know New World Order watching, and they try anything and everything to stop the truth of Yah from coming out. But as one of his many sons, not no begotten son, we will continue this push of the truth, and Yah we trust. Here we go. We're going to continue. where it says in verse 3, blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall thou be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Now, these are just Yahweh's like telling my forefathers, this is what you're gonna get if, big if, you listen to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because as we are gonna continue to read, he's also gonna warn what happens if you don't listen to these law, statutes, and commandments. And unfortunately, my forefathers did not listen to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yah. We're going to continue to read in verse 7. Yahweh shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Remember, this is the same Elohim that saved his people from a strange land in the land of Mizraim by himself. They could not sacrifice any animals in a land that was strange to them because it was an abomination to these Mizrites, also known as Egyptians, because they worshipped all those animals. Shoot, worship bugs, frogs, all these things, including the lice, one of the plagues that Yah put on Pharaoh and his people for not letting the house of Israel go and serve their Elohim. Yah knew they couldn't sacrifice no animals, because if they were to sacrifice animals in a strange land, they would have died. So, being the true God of Israel as he is, being fair by his law, statutes, and commandments, he know that they couldn't sacrifice any animals in a land that's not theirs. So what happened? He had to save them by himself. That's why he constantly reminded my people, I am Yahweh thy Elohim, the God of Abraham, the God of Yishak, and the God of Yaakov, that saved thee up from out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. He constantly reminds them, that's the God that saved them. Not no JC, not no Father God of a Trinity. No, this is one God who did it by himself. We're going to continue in verse 8. Yahweh shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. Yahweh shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy Elohim, and walk in his ways. Yah said he gonna establish thee as a holy people unto himself. He didn't say you're gonna be holy unto everybody and you're gonna be kumbaya. Nah, he said y'all my people, y'all holy unto me, to himself, as he sworn unto thee, and walk in all of his ways. We'll continue in verse 10, where it says, and all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yah, and they shall be afraid of thee. And that's another sign that these Jews aren't Yah's chosen people. Ain't nobody really fearing them. I mean, you see what's going on in these colleges around the United States, these educational institutions, how people are preventing students from going in and working towards their degree. I just remember this particular video where excuse me, let me say that again. I remember this particular video where a Jew was trying to go in and go to class, but these liberal people would not allow him to go in. Now, they didn't look afraid of this Jew, because if he was truly one of y'all's people, surely they would have been like, this is one of God's people. Let him in. Let him in. Everybody else, we're gonna block off. But yeah, God's people, Mr. Jew, come on in. Come on in, buddy. You get the special you get the special treatment around here. The red carpet treatment. Yeah, come on in. Let's go, man. Get these studies on, man. Let's go. Nah, he didn't get that treatment. But one thing that you will see is a lot of these ignorant folk are very afraid of black people. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. In a world where everybody's supposed to love one another, there's supposed to be a quote unquote, especially in the United States, a Christian nation. BS. It's a front. It's a front for white supremacy. Speaking of white supremacy, these white supremacists have used Christianity for quite some time now in order to spread their disgusting beliefs, in order to spread their extremely racist beliefs about black people. Because they think black people are just Hamites, they're just Africans, that's it. Oh, but they're very foolish. That's why y'all said a foolish nation would take your place. But that's these Jews, though, not just the white supremacists. Although, kind of go hand in hand since they're all in cahoots together against Yah and his chosen people. Here we go. We'll continue here. In verse 11, and Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahweh swore unto thy fathers to give thee. Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the Shemaim, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh thy Elohim, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. It's funny. I was at a one of these Christian gatherings the other day, as a spy. Like how when Joseph's brethren came to Mizraim and didn't recognize him, even though everybody was black, he knew who they were, but they didn't know who he was. They didn't know that when they tossed Joseph into the well, that he didn't die, but some Ishmaelites, also known as Muslims, came and bought him. And then he got sold to some Mizrites. And by the grace of Yah, he became a king in Mizraim. Same way. I was hearing a white male Christian speaking about Deuteronomy 28, because as I've been speaking about on this channel for quite some time, Christians like to go by verses and not understand the full context by going into chapters. I heard this this funny guy say, one day I was reading Deuteronomy 28 and I heard, or excuse me, and I read that we would be the tail and the heathen would be the head. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this isn't you. That doesn't even make sense. There's nowhere in this Old Testament of Yah prophesying, saying anything about My son JC will die for everyone's sins. I will forget all my law, statutes, and commandments, and a new religion called Christianity will be given to the world as a gift by the blood of my only begotten son. You will find no garbage, no such garbage in the Tanakh. Praise Yah forever. You will never hear such nonsense. But again, as I've been saying before, Christianity is a very emotional religion. I'm not gonna lie. That familiar spirit, man, you better be careful. Because once everybody's in that little "here I am to worship," once they in that mood, I ain't gonna lie, the energy will get to you. You gotta be careful out here. Don't let the familiar spirit get to you. But yeah, I'm just saying, I'm sitting there thinking, how is Deuteronomy 28 about you when your forefathers put my forefathers on slave ships to establish what we know as America and built this land by our hard labor, blood, sweat, and tears? How dare you? But that's what happens when you're ignorant. And that's what happens when the most popular religion in the world, the most popular religion in human history, is being spreading lies, spreading garbage. And I'm sure he's doing it willingly, or he knowingly, he knows what he's doing, saying what he's saying. Because we know what these devils are doing behind closed doors. We know they say praise JC and that they're doing all these wicked things behind closed doors. We know how they're getting down. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a direct agent of the New World Order intentionally. We'll continue here though. Where it says in verse 13, I probably said this already, but we're gonna keep pushing anyway. Where it says, "And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh thy Elohim, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after the other gods to serve them." So again, as I was speaking about the Jews earlier, when you create a book saying that these are the memoirs of rabbis, and you start making up your own doctrine, going away from what your supposed God, because you're supposed to be God's people, right? When you start making up things like the Babylonian Talmud and start making up your own garbage, and it's crazy how the world sucks into this garbage because they're sheep and don't want to do research, don't want to see what's going on for real. When you do these things, you disqualify yourself from being Yah's people. You prove that this Tanakh is true, and your Babylonian Talmud, your New Testament, all lies. Lying books of the New World Order. Let's keep going. Verse 15, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And that's how you know these Jews are not Yah's people. That's how you know these curses that are spoken about in the book of Deuteronomy are not on these Jews, because they're thriving. They're doing well. They have a name. They're looked at as Israel, but they're not real Israel. That's what happens when you go by the book and not by religious garbage. Let's keep going. Verse 16, Deuteronomy 28, "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall thou be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall thou be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out." And it's only going to get even realer as we continue to read in this wonderful chapter. "Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Watch this in verse 23. And thy Shemaim that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. We know in this Holocaust, it only lasted about 13 years. Yah said his people would be enslaved for 400 years. So you got a whole lot of years remaining, Jews. Y'all got a whole lot. We need to speak. I need to know the history. If y'all's chosen people, what happened to the remaining 388 years? What's going on there? One of y'all rabbis need to holler at me real quick, because I need to know. Tell me where y'all went wrong, because y'all was always right. But where did y'all go wrong? Because all y'all talk about is that the little Holocaust that was only 2 digits. We need 3 digits to see if y'all chosen, if y'all are y'all's chosen people for real. I need 3 digits to prove, because you can make up history all you want, just like how the Christians are saying that Jesus was a historical figure. Y'all can make up history all y'all want, but ain't no archaeological evidence. Same with y'all. That's why y'all banned black people in that made up Israel from getting DNA tests to show that they Israel by DNA, because you're jealous and you know who the real Israelites are. That's why y'all in a democracy, y'all preventing black people from getting DNA tests and that made up Israel. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all really do. We won't continue. As I was stating in verse 23, by the way, this brass and iron, obviously that's talking about y'all's people being in chains, same chains as these black people were put in when they was put on these slave ships for their oppressor. You know what time it is. Let's keep going. Yahweh shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From Shemaim shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. Yahweh shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And it's messed up because damn near every nation had black people as slaves. The Arab man, the white man, the Indian man. That's crazy. They basically said, "Huh, hey, which one of y'all want black slaves? Give a little handout. Give a little donation. Ain't that something? History right in the Old Testament right here. Because literally everyone had their hand at black slaves. Ironic. The New World Order, which is comprises of different nations going against one nation, and then when you add that up with history, we see the same thing repeating itself. The scriptures are jumping off of the book and coming out into reality. Stop playing. Stop playing. We're going to continue. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Yahweh will smite thee with the botch of Mizraim, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. You think it was easy getting whipped day in, day out? You're getting your thing chopped off as a man, watching your damn near spoiled it. But watching your wives get raped in front of you, watching your children go into the fields and get into work, you think that was easy to deal with? Hell no. This is what y'all speaking about. We're gonna continue. Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. That's why I be talking about when our people were in slavery, the same white man would not allow us to read the Old Testament, also known as the Tanakh. He lied and said that this white JC is going to save y'all from slavery, and he would have one specific day where they took off from going to the fields and tended to all the crops so that everyone can gather around and listen to something that's going to give them some type of comfort after slaving day in and day out in this hot ass sun. Why would an oppressor who has you in bondage, has you manipulated, why all of a sudden he's gonna change, he have a change of heart like the Grinch? He's just gonna have a change of heart and be like, you know what, I done did some stuff to y'all, but you know what, I'm gonna tell y'all the secret. I got a savior for y'all. His name's JC, the only begotten son. He's gonna save you out of this slavery. Ain't that crazy? I don't blame my people, but man, how evil. How evil. And we still oppressed to this day. Mental slavery, thinking that a man died for your sins. When you worship this JC figure, I don't even care if you change his skin color and say he's black. You're still worshiping the God of your oppressor. That's real talk, man. That's something that Christians don't speak about. I don't hear these black Hebrew Israelites speaking about it either. The Sakaris, they're not talking about this. This is real history that anyone and everyone has access to. We all know about slavery. We all know, one Google search away from showing what was the slave master teaching his slaves. What religion? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We getting there. We're getting there. Treat this like IMAX, y'all. It's a movie right here. We're gonna continue. Verse 30. Deuteronomy 28. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. I'm telling you. That's why I said I spoiled it earlier. The slave's wife is going to be taken away from him, get clapped up by the slave master. You're going to help build his house. You're going to tend to his crops, but you're not going to feast on those crops that you planted. Oh, no, 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 no. You're just labor. Get back to work. He going to feast on them grapes. Feast on all those crops that you built. Or, excuse me, that you planted. Let's continue in verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. This is what I was speaking about. Again, I spoiled it a little bit earlier. Same thing with your sons and your daughters being taken away from you, being put into slavery, molested, all that disgusting stuff. It says they're going to be given unto another people. What does that mean? It's plain English. I know the original language of the Tanakh / Old Testament was Paleo Hebrew, but Yah, being the true Elohim that he is, made this book available in all different languages that you can understand. So you're going to be given it to another people. Who is another people? Another nation, not Israel. Come on. It's very easy. Let's keep going. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. Let's read that one more time. Deuteronomy 28:33. Again, everyone has access to this as well. I'm not reading some secret information that I only have access to. Let's keep it going. Read it again. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. Yahweh shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. Y'all remember that movie? Slave movie where the white man was basically breaking that honestly I'm gonna keep it a buck. I only seen like some little snippets. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Y'all caught me. Haha, y'all caught me. Y'all caught me. I didn't actually watch the movie. I ain't gonna lie. But y'all know what movie I'm talking about, where the white slave master was beating the black man and he say, "Your name's Toby." And then he finally gave in. And he went with Toby. Got smite in the knees and the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed. Let's keep going in verse 36. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. Yah makes this book so easy. He say, you're going to go unto a nation which neither thou, that's talking about you, nor your fathers have known. And there thou shalt serve other gods, the gods of wood and stone. Yah makes it so easy. He prophesied about Christianity and Islam. Ironically, even in the religion of Islam, before they converted to Islam, they were Hebrews. Y'all gotta stop playing around. Same thing with Christianity. Slave master telling you that JC gonna save y'all from this oppression that y'all going through. The god of wood. What was JC put on? A piece of wood. Again, this is what happens when you go chapter by chapter, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, not just one verse and then everyone standing all like, oh my goodness, I see why you're a preacher. Come on, man. You gotta read the full chapter in order to get the full context. Have you ever picked up a book and it's 5 chapters, but you only read one sentence and that's it? No, you read the whole entire thing starting from chapter 1, the first sentence, and then you read it all the way through in order to get the full story. Why are we not getting the full story of the Old Testament? Why are we allowing unqualified people who built churches that y'all never prophesied about, build these biblical schools that y'all never prophesied about, nor allowed, that says, I will go against my law, statutes, and commandments, and these churches, these men who have never spoke about or nor prophesied about, have authority to be able to say that a man died for their sins. We're going to continue. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. Telling you, man, everyone have their pick of the litter when it comes to having black people as slaves, all nations. Now, obviously, I'd be a liar and say everyone's racist. That's not true. Obviously not true. But a vast majority are taught these racist things about black people. They're taught that black people are the scum of the earth. They look down upon black people. And that's not just because their forefathers were teaching them this. This was y'all prophesying about. It's in the Tanakh, the same book that these preachers and evangelists aren't speaking about in full context. It speaks about it right here. One of them in Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. That's why these These soft ass Jews want to talk about anti-Semitism. Really? Really? That's the most liberal thing I've ever heard. And I ain't no conservative or nothing, but that's the most softest, like cupcake ass answer I've ever heard. What the hell? You supposed to be an Israelite? You're supposed to be one of y'all's people, and in order to defend your God, you don't just go to, your book. Supposedly it's supposed to be your book, and the Old Testament says, see, it says we're gonna be a byword and a proverb. Nah, y'all just say anti-Semitism, boo-hoo, everyone feels sorry for me. Freaking cupcake, man. Soft as Charmin. Bunch of peasants, man. For real, for real. We won't continue in verse 38. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but neither shalt excuse me. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coast, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine oil shall cast his fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. There's that word, captivity. Telling you, slave masters had these black people not only just working on the plantation, but just having them breed just so that their sons and their daughters can just go into captivity. It's messed up. It's really looked at us like animals on them plantations. I'm telling you. History nobody wants to talk about, but it must be spoken about. It must. It must. It all must. Oh, praise Yah, praise Yah, praise Yah. Bless his holy name forever. Forever. Here we go. Verse 43. We getting there, y'all. We getting there. I hope y'all sticking with me. I hope y'all. Matter of fact, forget all that. Shout out to everyone who's still with me right now. Who's still rocking with me, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all time, y'all effort. Um, can't thank y'all enough. All praise to the Most High. Everybody, from my Israelite brothers and sisters to my Gentile brothers and sisters who are clinging on to the house of Yisrael, and y'all know what the truth is. All praises. We won't keep going. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Come on. That it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. Because again, if we're looking at things from just even a logical standpoint, I don't care if you're an atheist or whatever belief system, we can just piece what's being spoken about right here in this wonderful book of truth, and then look at what's going on in the world and see, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Who's first? I want to know in this world that we live in right now, who is above these Jews right now? That's what I want to know. Who's above them? I ain't gonna lie, they're running everything from the entertainment industry, music, everything. Who's above them? Even though their so-called book, because they're supposed to be God's people, right? The book tells them that they're supposed to be at the bottom of the totem pole, but they thrive and they doing everything. But when you look at black people, we see this is clearly speaking about slavery. This is clearly speaking about these black people. Clear as day. 2020 vision. You gotta be blind to not see this truth. You really do. You gotta be blind physically, mentally, spiritually. Y'all already said the heathen are gonna be in derision. You really gotta be in some derision when it's so easy to read this. It's messed up because we all have access to this book, yet heathen still choose to twist around what y'all made easy and make it hard to see this truth. Here we go. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Stop playing with me. I was speaking about this before the book even said it. Stop playing. It didn't just say it was just going to be on our forefathers. It said it's going to be on thy seed forever, the seed of thy forefathers, which means the next generation of children are going to inherit these curses of Deuteronomy. Unfortunately, it's a very heart-wrenching inheritance, but it's an inheritance to prove that you are Yah's chosen people. So when people sit there and say, you were never a slave, you never went through these things, but it's messed up. Yeah, you could say that, but I am still a byproduct of slavery. I'm still a byproduct. This byword, why am I still, matter of fact, if you want to say that, why are you still calling me this N-word if I was never a slave? Because that's what they were calling slaves back in the day. But I'm supposed to have my rights. I'm supposed to be treated equally. Stop playing. I can't get mad like that because this book keeps my head in check. I can't. I can't. It's too real. It's trill, man. It's too trill, man. I can't. How could I be mad when I'm looking at the instructions that my God gave me? Because if you're not seeking out this truth, you're going to be lost in the sauce, and you're going to be depressed. You're going to be ill. You're going to be all these things that the New World Order wants you to be. But when you're seeking out the true God of Yisrael, damn. Because can't nobody protect you like Yah. Can't nobody. No JC, no ALAH, none of that. Not no blood gonna save you. No. The living Elohim who never changed. His name is Yahweh, the most high God of every God in this freaking world that he created. Ah. You could have a million enemies, but you just got one friend, one God whose name lasts forever. You're gonna take everybody out. Like David took out Goliath with a slingshot. All you just say is, all right. You say, all right, enemies, I got something for y'all. Y'all gonna set y'all straight. And then what happens? Wing! Y'all gonna get rid of all million of your enemies. Just gotta believe in him. Trust in him. He will protect you. Can't no blood save you. Can't no baptism save you. None of that. Gotta keep it real, y'all. Fortunately, when my mother passed away, I remember some devil woman saying the most stupid nonsense I've ever heard in my life. Saying, my mother is sickly ill. This devil talking about, oh, was she baptized? What is the hospital supposed to do? Take my sick mother out of her bed and then get her in some water, and that's what's going to save her? Hell no. None of those things can't save you. JC can't save you. Only Yah can save you. Bless his holy name forever. I don't care what these devils say. Matter of fact, these Christians try to lie and say that when you believe in this JC, this false God who couldn't save himself, this false God who died at 33. Ironically, the last number in Freemasonry is 33. That's when you become the highest Freemason. Ironically, right? Come on, man. I ain't making nothing up. Come on. Come on. I promise, man. That man ain't nothing like y'all. Ain't nothing like y'all. Ain't nothing like y'all. All praise. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. Verse 47 of Deuteronomy 28, because thou servest not to Yahweh thy Elohim with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Stop playing. Like I said, this was way before the New World was established, way before the transatlantic slave trade. Oh man, praise y'all. That's why it's a perpetual testament, a testimony that lasts forever. Y'all need to quit playing, y'all. Y'all need to quit playing with y'all. Y'all really do. I ain't saying I know each and everything in this book, but man, I sure be studying. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. We're gonna continue. Verse 49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Jews exposed. Uh-oh. Let's keep going. Let's continue. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kin, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which Yahweh thy Elohim hath given thee. Mm, mm. Doesn't that sound like, oh, I don't know, slavery? I don't know what else it sounds like. It sounds like slavery. It sounds like these tall ass picket fences that had overseers watching who was gonna try to escape the plantation. That's what it sounds like. I'm just saying. Tell me what other catastrophic event we talking about that lines up better than slavery. I need to know. I need to know, JC believers. I need to know because Remnant knows what time it is. But JC believers, I need y'all, just like how y'all been leaving these crazy comments left and right. I need y'all to keep commenting. Y'all need to explain what could y'all be possibly speaking about other than slavery. Y'all need to drop your derisionist comments when this video uploads. Y'all willing. Verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which Yahweh thy Elohim hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness, wherein thine enemies shall distress thee. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall, had a, excuse me, I had a burp right there. I'm gonna repeat that. Excuse me. Let's repeat that. Verse 54, Deuteronomy 28. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. I'd be mad too. I'm going through all this. I don't know when's the last time I ate, had a good shower, I've been treated right. I mean, you're only as, it's messed up. You're only as kind as your environment, unfortunately. I mean, it's messed up. You whatever you're going through, wherever you're at, it's gonna overtake you. And probably sometime in the future, I'll give a story, a personal story about this. Uh, where I'll be speaking about exactly what I'm speaking about. Anywho, let's continue. Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. Verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, not the New Testament, this book. let's rewind. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh, thy Elohim. But I thought you were supposed to fear JC. I thought you were supposed to fear the God of the New Testament. Yah makes it very clear. But again, clearly, Christians ain't digging enough. Clearly, this is why you need to read full chapters. That's why it's so important. Look at this. Does it sound like Christianity right here? If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name. Doesn't say JC, because when you go in the Blue Letter Bible and you see who the God of the Old Testament is, as always, it's going to say Yah. Ain't nothing new. Stop playing with the Most High. Stop it. Stop with the foolish doctrine. Stop it. Even when I was a Christian, they didn't like when I went by the book. But as the Most High, whose mercy endures forever, as he was preparing me to get out of the spell of Christianity and see the truth of his law, statutes, and commandments, because again, his people never went by no religion. They went by law, statutes, and commandments. So what the heck is what's it called? Judaism? What is that? That's a religion. Y'all ain't never taught that. No, he went by law, statutes, and commandments, not religion. Absolutely not. Let's continue. We're almost there. Verse 59 of Deuteronomy 28. Then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Mizraim, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of Shemaim for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiceth over you to do you good and to multiply you, so that Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. He repeats himself. He says it again. There's a reason why JC is not mentioned by name, because he's an idol. He is the god of Rome. He was made up in order to deceive the nations that there was another God that was at the right hand of Yahweh, but that's not true, because Yah is God by himself. Praise Yah forever. There's a reason why Moshe was mentioned by name, Aaron was mentioned by name, David was mentioned by name, being his Prince of Peace, when he brings back the captivity of his people back to the land. Says it again, man. He said it again. Yah said it again. That's why you can't find this stupid idol of the New Testament in the Tanakh, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. They don't know JC. They don't know him. Who the hell is this? Begotten son? Who? If King David heard about it, he'd be like, who? He said, my God doesn't have no begotten son. My God don't have no foolish son that contradicts his law, statutes, and commandments. Moshe, especially Moshe and Aaron, they would be like, what? Because they're the most high priest of Yahweh, right? If y'all really studying the true people of Israel, y'all know that the house of Levi is the most closest to Yah. They don't have an inheritance. Their inheritance is Yah. So how blasphemous would it be that this outsider, this person not mentioned by name, who contradicts Yah's law, statutes, and commandments, would be so close to him, even being his only begotten son? Stop playing. Stop playing. Matter of fact, that nonsense were true, Aaron, all the house of Levi, I'm sure Yah would command all of them, stand by and stone this begotten abomination to death. What the heck? The Levites who went about bringing the atonement for whoever in the house of Israel sinned, they're the ones that went through with the ceremonies of forgiving the person's iniquity by getting the animal, sprinkling the blood around the altar. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. That is insane. Let's keep moving. Verse 65 of Deuteronomy 28. And among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would Elohim it were even, and at even what thou shalt say, would it Elohim it were morning, for the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Mizraim again, and with ships by the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And I ain't never heard of no Jew in Mizraim back in the days. How would they have survived? They would have been burned to a crisp. How? Especially with Babylonian Talmud. How? If they were Yah's people from back in the day, where does Yah talk about, and I will also give them a Babylonian Talmud and call these teachers of me rabbis instead of mores? Come on, man. Ay. Crazy stuff. But yeah, just want to speak about finally make a video about the curses of Deuteronomy and how they affect the Yah's chosen people each and every single day while they're in the land that's not theirs. Uh, I want to give a big shout out to everyone who made it to the end of the video. And if you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos as well. Like my previous one, The Begotten Son is a Lie, Unlearn the Lies of the New Testament. Old Testament says who's God by name. And yeah, shout out to everyone who is subscribed. Make sure you like the video, share it, and comment. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Whether you love me, hate me, whatever it is, stop treating this like incognito mode and turn your browser back to the light. Because I see a vast majority of y'all watch my videos. Y'all watch my videos like it's a movie. Y'all watch my videos like it's a one-time thing. And as I've been saying, like I said in my last video, it's gonna keep coming stronger, better than it ever was. We're gonna put more seasoning on it. We're gonna grill it a little bit more, make sure there's some char marks all up in it. You're gonna get this while it's hot. Closed mouths don't get fed. In order to get fed, you gotta subscribe, and hit the bell. We're coming. Huh. Like y'all, any of y'all that watch college football, Deion Sanders, we coming. We coming. But yeah, man. Y'all have a good one, whether you're from the house of Israel or a Gentile. You want to still be, entertained, after this video. Check out my Exposing the New Testament playlist, as well as my TikTok at Yirmiyahu Ben of Yahweh. I'm out. Peace.